Okay. Period 6 review. This is not just period 6. This is just 6.1. Which 6, like all the beginning of everything, so like 5.1, 3.1, everything is pretty much review of what's going to happen in the chapter. Also, I'm like really have a lot of layers on right now because I don't have a working heater in my room, and the heater was turned off midday by somebody, which sucks for me because it's cold right now in my room. It's about as cold as outside, minus like the wind factor and everything. But yeah. But the period 6 is from 1865 to 1896. Or 1898. This has quite a bit of overlap with period 5 as I believe it ends around period 5 ends. Like right here. And it starts before that. So there's some overlap. You can't see that. But it's there. And then just some extra notes, fun things to note. This period is like an in-between period due to the lack of narrative and storytelling. Not much stuff is going to happen. And you're going to get frustrated. And it's, my APUSH teacher said it's like period 4, where there's just not much stuff. It's definitely a shorter period of time to go over. There are just some key points, which is industrialization, urbanization, and migration and immigration. This age is also, or time period, is known as the Gilded Age income inequality. So gilded means like gold plated. So false sense of security, almost like if you were to get a necklace and people were like, yeah, it's real gold, like right there, that's real gold, like test it. And if you test it, it's like, oh yeah, that is gold plated. But then it starts to chip off, and then you kind of realize, okay, the full thing isn't gold, but I paid as if. So during this time, many people were either wealthy or extremely poor. There was a big gap in between types of income and lifestyles, or just general how people are living. So people would live, so if you think of the Biltmore, and then just straight holes in the wall, like literally, that's where people were living. And so in this time period, the wealthy people almost made it look like the economy was doing well. So it had this false sense of security. So it's like the economy couldn't possibly be doing bad if there's wealthier people. And then captains of the industry. I'm doing my APUSH review video. Captains of the industry and fun facts. I only got to fun facts about one of them. The other ones I'm gonna leave. Cornelius Vanderbilt. The Vanderbilts built Biltmore, which is like not that far from where I live. Andrew Carnegie. No fun fact. John D. Rockefeller. That kind of reminded me of John B. from Outer Banks, but then also John D. Rockefeller, like Lana Del Rey. For Rockefeller.
He was the richest man, like, in all of U.S. history.
Yes.
That's what he was. That
was the fun fact, but it just didn't, like, yeah, he died with not as much net worth as Elon Musk, but for how much the average American had, he was the richest, and still the richest. But it's like, now there's a lot more wealth and a lot more, and it's all this financial stuff. I took a finance class over the summer, and it was like the most boring thing ever, so now every time I hear finance, it freaking triggers me. I'm like, no, I zone out. J.P. Morgan, that was another guy, but if you think of like J.P. Morgan banking, if you think of like right now the captains of the industry would be Zuck, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk, and this other guy that we're not going to talk about because he's like richer. I think Elon's top, but he's like, the other guy has some sort of tech company, and he's kind of more quiet on the down low, so you wouldn't know. Benefits of trains. I actually love trains.
You smell like booty hole.
During this time, there was a switch from using cattle as transportation to using trains. Because, why? Trains could be used all day, all year, and stretched across any expanse. So, like, anywhere you would want to live, that's where a train would be, pretty much. You're not going to want to live on the tippity top of Mount Everest, so a train's not going to be there. Like, you don't, so trains will go anywhere you pretty much want to live. And trains could be used all day, which means, like, just not during the day where cattle can see and you can see. Like, trains had a set point of time and place to leave from and got to its destination. There's already railroads built, so it could be used in the night, and then all year. It didn't depend on weather or how much cattle there was, or if your cattle was dying, or how much you were feeding it. So trains really just meant urbanization and industrialization. And this is going to lead to, like buildings and stuff like that. So this is going to lead to, right now I'm just writing what I'm saying, so you don't have to see it. This means the economy is going to go up in that area. Because the more urbanization means the more people to fill those houses. So that means those people need to get jobs, which means that there needs to be this, which means that the economy has to be there, right? And it's going to go up if positive things are happening, and then, for the most part, and then jobs are also going to go up. Mining. As a child, I yearned for the mines. That's basically what this is about. So as more people found gold, the amount of gold to find diminished, and it got sold, it got created into things, matter can't be created or destroyed, but gold itself could be eventually found useless due to something that they did to it. So yeah. Then silver became the next thing people mined for in Nevada, Colorado, Rockies, South Dakota's Black Hills, which created these mining town booms, which was a boom. It was a good thing. So more people mining in a given area meant more money for that given area, and then things generally got better. And they adapted their lifestyle to be better and draw in more people that are going to spend money at these restaurants and these and these shops, and that means that this town is not going to have money to build a hotel and prosper. But if you want to look at where the mining town boom was and where they're actually mining, so gold is going to be this yellowish color right here, kind of off of near Los Angeles where the fires are, and then right next to it, it's going to be in the Arizona territory, is the intermediate region where there's a lot of gold, silver, and iron, but this is where the Rocky Mountains are, right here, and that's where a lot of the silver is going to be. They're going to try to get to that little strip. Which brings us back to the bison, is the trains. So I just talked about the trains, but actually bison have a lot to do with the functionality of trains. So what I keep saying trains. Basically, the only thing that could stop trains was the bison. Bison, like herds of bison would stop on the train tracks, like, and just stop the train. Like the train, it's kind of funny to think about that. Bison were overhunted, therefore the population decreased, but Congress passed a law in 1874 saying that criminalizing hunting female bison, and then later president, except for Indians. Indians could hunt that. Later President Ulysses S. Grant vetoed it as it was a nuisance due to bison stopping on railroad tracks and knocking over telegraph poles. People actually wanted to hunt bison to get rid of Indians. That was the main goal. So the U.S. said, you can be on this territory as long as there's bison to hunt and you can kind of survive on your own, it's fine. But they're like, every bison killed is one less Indian. So there's a lot of like American Indian hatred. Just the general terms to know is Transcontinental Railroad, which led to urbanization, which meant jobs. Homestead Act was in 1862, which is before it, gave 160 acres of federal land to any applicant who will improve the land. Land grant colleges was land states could sell to raise money for public universities. And the Comstock lode was just the silver in Nevada.